Gary, Indiana, right by the beach, born and raised. Gary, Indiana gets a bad rap, but really I think it's like the coolest place I could have grown up at. It was really a melting pot of all different types of people, and a lot of supportive people too. Growing up, my hobbies were like, I did all kinds of weird stuff. Everybody was playing regular sports, and I like breakdancing and parkour and X Games. Anything that like would get your adrenaline to spike is what I was into. The way I got into art was I have uncles who are watercolor painters. They're pretty big time watercolor painters. One owns a school in South Bend, so I guess you could say it's in my blood, but ever since I could pick up a pencil, I've been trying to draw, and my mom was a big part of it. She wouldn't let me color coloring books. I had to draw my own pictures and then color them, so that was always like a huge thing, and she'd always tell me that a real artist doesn't make mistakes. You can always adapt and incorporate it into the art, so that has really helped me a lot. My heroes are funny because like most people aren't that great, so my heroes are like literally like Goku and Spider-Man and stuff like that, just like standing up for what's right, and no matter what kind of obstacle you have, you can rise above it. So that's a big thing of why I gravitate towards like cartoons and comic stuff when it comes to my paintings, at least. Got into tattooing was really out of necessity. It was almost time to graduate, and when it came up to that time, I didn't know about student loans or grants or anything. So in my head, it was just like my parents can't afford to pay a bunch of money for me to go to school. And then one of my older friends, his name's Gil, he told me about tattooing. He's like, "Peter, why don't you just start tattooing, bro? You can totally do that." And actually, that's what I did. The day that I graduated, on my graduation day, I got like $500 in an envelope. It's like congratulations. And I went out to all the local shops. Most of them told me, "Get out of here, kid." But then finally, one dude said, "All right, yeah, I'll do it." Started tattooing about a month later, so I really started the day that I graduated. I started tattooing. I spent most of my time just cleaning and babysitting. It was not really that great, and I don't want to shit on the guy, so I'm not gonna say his name, but he wasn't that great of an artist, and I could see that, even though I was just starting. And after just like 2 months, I got my stuff and I left there, but I knew enough to start tattooing on my friends in like my mom's basement and stuff. So that's where I started, and then it was a slow uphill battle until I met Tony Reyes. He's the owner of Blacklisted. He really took me under his wing and mentored me into being a better artist. I have some really cool portraits. I have Snoop Dogg, and I've got Goodfellas back there. And I've got Miklo from Blood In, Blood Out, the Joker. I've got the Animaniac that I really, really love. I just got that from Berto Espinosa. And but probably my favorite would be the K on my hand, and that's because my big cousin had it. He passed away. He had that K, and I copied it and tattooed it on all of the younger cousins so that we could all have a matching tattoo together. I was here when they opened it. I helped Tony open it and put in floors and all that stuff. So he opened it, and I was here for about a year, but after a year, I moved to Las Vegas for the next 3.5, and I've been back for about a year and a half now, back at Blacklisted. Vegas was awesome, man. That was really one of the biggest experiences in tattooing that I've had. I got to work with 2 of the ink masters, Joey Hamilton and Sausage. So that was crazy. We had awesome parties. I worked at Starlight Tattoo for Mario Barth, which is on the Vegas Strip. So lots of exposure, lots of crazy stuff. But the biggest thing was just meeting with all, there was a Halloween party where I got to meet Steve Butcher and Timmy B and all these big time names. Mike DeVries was there. Just all these big time names that I looked up to so much, and now I'm hanging out with them. I did a convention with a bunch of them, and just being around guys like that, or even Alex Moreno, who did portraits on my forearm, stuff like that. Yeah, you can't get that unless you do travel. You have to travel and meet people to be able to learn from them and soak that in. Black and gray realism, that's what I'm pretty prolific at, and I do a lot of animals. I love tattooing animals. Black and gray realism is like my bread and butter, but if anybody wants to get anime tattoos or cartoon tattoos, let me know, because I'm on the market for those. I like 2 things about tattooing. I like that the job never gets stagnant. we do something different every day. You deal with a new person every day. Like it's constantly evolving. Like even the equipment that we use, we just got like wireless a couple years ago, and just a good change all the time really keeps you out of like doing the same thing through the same cycle every day. But the other thing that I love about tattooing is this idea that I have about my art after I pass away. I'm really into the idea that my art lives on and gets to walk around and be seen by people even after I die. If I'm a 60-year-old man and I tattoo an 18-year-old, that kid's still gonna talk about me giving him his first tattoo, you know, until he's a 60-year-old man. So I've always really liked that. You can find me at Blacklisted most days, and you can also find me on Instagram at Mendoza Tattoos. Let's set it up.